keep forgetting to eat my Jubilee cake. I think I'm waffling on it, and that's kind of sad because it's a pretty sweet reward. What's going on, YouTube? We have one of the more traditional ESO events. You just whip out a cake and eat it. You literally can have your cake and eat it too. Now, you'll get 3 event tickets for doing that, and there are some rare rewards. But we need to talk about in this video which rewards are actually good, what should you be spending your event tickets on, and your time, because not just the items in here, there are also some rare things that you can gather throughout this event. This is going to be looking at it from a rare item perspective. Some of these items are literally priceless because they're not tradable. Therefore, we have to kind of just go off of how exclusive they are. So we're going to break that down and more in today's video. But if you're interested, I've done 2 previous videos on where you can go and farm reward boxes to actually make money. This is going to be focused on the other portions of the event that aren't you just farming reward boxes, because you don't need to farm reward boxes for these. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is you're going to be getting tons of event tickets. That means, boom, you could be buying yourself some unique mounts. Now, these Indriks confuse people greatly because they rotate throughout the quarters of the year. So from April to June, you actually can get these 2 Indriks, the Luminous Indrik as well as the Ice Breath Indrik. Now, where I am is actually over here inside of Craglorn. You can see I'm over at the event area, just outside the main Belkarth way shrine. And if you were to come over here, you could talk to this vendor, and you'll notice that everything that they sell is using event tickets. And all you need to do is eat cake every day to get, you guessed it, event tickets. And so to get this very base Indrik, all you need to do is combine 4 actual fragments together. You will note, though, that they're not in alphabetical order, so just be careful about which ones you're purchasing. They're the 2 5-cost ones at the top, 2 5-cost ones at the bottom. You can see this is the 3rd of the 4 legendary Indrik feathers. This one's the 4th of 4, so just make sure you're combining the right fragments together. Yes, I will repair my armor, so that way there's not people commenting it below. And then this, statistically, is going to give you what I call the Eevee, the Pokemon. I'm going to use this analogy because statistically about 60 to 70% of you will understand this. You'll notice, take those event tickets, cram them together, and again, you have from April all the way to June, and every event that gives event tickets in between. To do this, if you want to get these specific ones, let's say, because obviously we need to have an example here, you want to get the Luminous Indrik. It also requires 4 berries, and it also costs a little bit more, 10 event tickets each, so 40 in total. And you'll see there at the very bottom, requires Nascent Indrik to use, meaning you actually have to evolve your Eevee into the Luminous version of this Indrik. So essentially, once you've done that, you will no longer have this Indrik, you will only have this one. Once you combine the fragments together and you have actually used all of your fragments to do so. Meaning that you can go back again and you can repurchase, you can use these 5 event tickets once, 20 in total, combine all the feathers back together again, and then you could go and purchase the other one. It's like taking a Pokemon and evolving it. Is how I describe it to people. You can also get the 2 non-combat pets that also rotate at the bottom as well. And this is every Indrik on top. You have the mounts. These are the ones that you can ride, and the bottom ones are the non-combat pets. So, however, all throughout different periods is when you can actually get these. So we are in the 2nd quarter, which is April through June, meaning that if you wanted to get some of the other ones, and I'll just leave this on screen here so you guys can get a general idea. And I will also link this in the description below for you guys. That way you can get an idea of, hey, you know, the Spectral Indrik, very popular. That's January through March. Also, too, if you're watching this later in the future for whatever reason, and it's June and you're like, ooh, don't have enough time to get the Ice Breath one, but Moss Heart sounds really nice, you'll have time to do so. Everybody in ESO loves mounts. Everybody needs a good mount to ride. So, you know, you might as well get it, you know, a deer, elk, moose, magical thing that you can use for that. Next up, we are inside the Impresario herself. Now, you're going to notice, though, that they've got quite a few cakes dating back quite a few years. What's nice about these is that they're going to be available next year, but there is a little bit of FOMO. Obviously, you'd have to wait a full 365 days to get these again, but what's really cool about these is you can slap them on a table and, you know, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Now you've got yourself a bunch of cake. I really like these items. I like to put them in my houses. I think they're really cool and unique items, and they're a good way to use your event tickets. And This is the only way that you're able to get these items. Some other really unique collectible items can also be purchased with event tickets, but have another way that you can get them. The first one is Barbaros's helmet. Then we have the Staff of Worms. We have the staff replica that I'm not going to even attempt to butcher. Jake, I know people would comment it. It would push it in the algorithm, but I'm just not even going to try. Then we've got the True Flame sword replica. Tell me I didn't say that incorrectly. And then we have the Ulvor staff replica. We probably butchered that. The comments are coming anyway. You might think to yourself, Jake, these items look pretty dope. How exactly do you get them? Well, you can actually earn them all in-game. Or you could obviously purchase them with event tickets because it's right there. And an important quick distinction, we are talking to Phileas here, not the actual impresario. So you got to talk to the neighbor next door. But if you want to earn these, you can actually do so relatively easily. Some of them are easier than others, especially depending on how you're farming this event. So the True Flame Sword is a rare drop from fishing, but it gets less rare if you have certain achievements. If you're a Dominion, Covenant, or Pact Fisherman achievement, it's a little bit easier. And then if you're a Master Angler, it's uncommon, which means that if you just fish for a little bit, you're going to get it relatively quickly. We have the Staff of Worms replica. I'll be honest, if you're farming the Alakir Desert, Deshaun, or Aura farming Dawn, you don't got to worry about having these achievements. But if you do have the achievements listed, like, Pact Anchor or Shatterer, you'll be fine. The next ones also both come from Vardenfell. It's a little bit easier if you have the Defender of Morrowind or the Savior of Morrowind, just by doing a whole bunch of hoopla inside of Morrowind to get these bad boy achievements. You can see, we'll look at it here in a second, what you have to do. But if you just sit and farm world bosses, you'll get both of these very quickly. The Savior of Morrowind achievement is a little bit, you got a couple things to do. You're going to have to pretty much 100% the zone. But I'll be honest, I had the uncommon achievement. I killed a world boss. I got one. Killed the second world boss. I got the next one. If you just spend a couple little bits and bobs there, you'll probably get both of these. And again, you can always spend 10 event tickets if you don't want to actually go out and get any of these specifically. And then we have one that was the bane of a significant people's time, and that was because the Ulfar staff replica is very cool looking, and it requires you to have the Abyssal Devastator achievement, which in and of itself actually isn't too terrible. You just have to complete 50 geysers, which don't worry, you will if you want to get this staff. Or you can have the Savior of Somerset, which has you do quite a few things, but you also get a little die to go with it. So I think that makes it worth it. This is one that a lot of people invested with their event tickets, but I will say though, it's decently valuable to farm, Abyssal Geysers. And there's a lot of people doing them right now, so they're not going to be as painful. I mean, it's not as good, reward boxes as the Portals, the Bankrai Trio, or, anything else really, but that doesn't mean it's bad. And plus 2 Abyssal Geysers, they give you Powdered Mother of Pearl, which granted is going to plummet in value, but it's still a good consumable, even when everybody has tens of thousands of them. And to round us off, we have the Bag of Jubilee Yesteryear. Now, you're going to notice something. I actually have all of the items and rewards from the Yesteryear. So I'm going to warn you that this is not like Midyear Mayhem, White Strake's Mayhem, Pelinor's Grace, the 50,000 names that it's known by, the PvP event. A lot of people have these, and they sell these. So you're not saving as much money by buying these 2 bag tickets, boxes here. So how do they work, right? So basically, it's 2 event tickets to get an item that you don't have from a previous anniversary event. And some of them might be worth decent chunks of money. The problem starts to arise when you realize that a lot of them are not very valuable, but that does open an opportunity because you could go out and buy them. So let's say, there's one really cheap style, and we're going to go through them all, don't worry. You could go buy all of those. That way you're artificially increasing your odds of getting something more valuable. But I will warn you that if you play on console, this method is not nearly as good as if you play on PC. The reason for that is that most of these style pages that we're rolling for have been flooded on the market for free, essentially, on console. People were a little bit more, horde-esque, on PC. But let's break it down. Here you can actually see all of the previous styles. You get Wormcult, Jafreen, Imperial Champion, Prophet, Lyris, Sai Sahan, Abnatharn, Earthbone, Aliad, Bone Mold, and then you could get the Fire Part Spider parts. So quite a few different things that you can get here. Which of these are good? Well, just of the new styles, this is PC prices. You're not really going to be getting a whole bunch of goodness. You can already get these in the normal reward boxes, so people are not really going to be paying, an arm and a leg to get something that's literally available to be farmed right now. So from the first one, 20 to 30,000 for some pieces isn't bad. It's just certainly not great. The next style, Jafreen, even worse. Some of the chest pieces, saving yourself 10 to 12,000, but Imperial Champion is actually somehow even worse, which is interesting because these actually do look pretty decent. I don't have time to show you guys all these styles, but for how much people are listing them, I think it's actually pretty good to scoop some of these. Profit, we definitely see a bigger increase with 20,000 and higher for some, and actually not enough data for the hood being a 19 to 125,000 range. Is actually pretty decent. You wouldn't be too upset if you got a couple of these pieces from a bag of yesteryear. And finally, one of the ones that actually is the reason for me even covering this is that the Rarest Titanborn chest piece is averaging 464,000 to 581,000. And this is one people are talking about it the most, so it's got probably its most fair price. This is definitely a really expensive one. The problem is that, yeah, the other pieces are good, 28,000 to 35,000, 31,000 to 40,000-ish. Not too shabby, but really the chase item is the chest piece. And then interestingly, the chase item for Sai Sahan is the arm cops, which is definitely interesting, but he also has a really good chest piece as well, going for almost 600,000 to 745,000. And even other pieces like his belt, which is pretty small, are still averaging about 30 to 37,000. Abner Thorn for sacrificing himself, allegedly, for humanity. This staff's, a decent chase item, 120 to 150,000 wow. Then you get Earthbone, which is literally a skip. Or purchase, I guess, if you're like, ooh, I can buy these cheap to make sure I don't get them. Bone Mold, which is in literally the exact same spot of what we just talked about. And then these spider pieces, which you would be very upset if you spent 2 event tickets to get an item that's worth 69 to 86 gold. Yes, it's a funny number, but the only funny thing is that that's a waste of event tickets. But everyone, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. These were the rare items that are available during the Jubilee celebration event. Now, that's not to say that there's not more rare items. For example, those Jubilee reward boxes are packed with rare items that you can sell, but those are just generic things that you could pretty much get throughout the entirety of the year. Yes, you're getting morning dews. Some of you guys are getting dust, and all sorts of great gold items and things, but that's not really exclusive to this. So I wanted to take this video, focus on the exclusive events that you guys can get as well during this event. I do just want to give a quick shout out. We didn't talk about this in the video because that's tied to what's inside of the purple reward boxes, but it's actually the furnishing items that you can get inside of them. They are obviously only available from the reward boxes. So if you want to check out my video on how to get reward boxes, I'll link it at the top of the description. But the key is just knowing that, yeah, you can get these items, and yeah, because they're exclusive to this event, they're pretty decent. But quite a few good things to use your event tickets on. These are what I would focus on. Now, again, all of this will be available next year. Nothing is going to be exclusive to this year. You'll be able to buy the cakes next year. You'll be able to buy the yesteryear stuff next year. Might go up in value, though. You'll be able to get your Indriks, but again, they're seasonal, so if you miss out on the season, got to wait for the season to roll back around again. So keep all that in mind. And thank you guys so much again for watching. As always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you need to do to enter is leave a comment and like on the video, / as many likes and comments on as many videos as you want. Second thing is just be subscribed. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone. And a third thing is look for a hidden word to be flashed upon the screen. For the first person to find and comment that word, you will win. There is at least 1 word per video per month, so keep an eye out for it, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.